What's going on, guys? This video is an update on my 2017 Q60 Red Sport. Sorry, BMW guys. Nothing's really going on with the M due to COVID. There'll be more to come on that. So, what are we doing here? What we got here? So, this video, we're going to talk about everything we're doing because everybody keeps asking me, what are you doing? What are you doing? What turbos you running? This, that, and the other, all this. So, we're going to cover all that, right? The first thing I'm sure you see is these stock turbos. They are going away. Right now I'm just ripping them apart actually just to see the insides and what they look like. These will probably go for sale if anybody wants them. It'll be just the compressor side. So we got the favorite thing to talk about, belts. Gates belt's gonna go in, replace the OEM one. Now, guys, your belts are snapping because your alignment is off. Okay? Check the service bulletin. Get your alignment right. Your belts aren't snapping for no reason. Okay? Cool. Next. Blow-off valves. Old setup was the HKS is very popular. I'm just going a different route. What you'll notice on this build, it's not necessarily a bolt-on what I can get off the shelf build. This is a more, hey, I'm doing stuff that people aren't doing F-it build, right? So, Turbo Smart blow-off valves. They're going in. Catch can. I know everyone runs the Ad 1 or the Mishimoto or even the BMS. The only reason I'm running this, guys, is because I got it for free. Some local guy here in Florida was like, hey, I'm cleaning out my garage. I was like, hey, man, I'll take that catch can. I was like, how much you want? He's like, hey, bro, if you come pick it up now, it's for free. Cool. This AM intake filter is just sitting here because this is one of the two filters I'm going to use. I'm going to do a custom 3-inch intake on that. That's going to be real nice. I don't know if I'm going to keep it to polished aluminum or color it like red or black or something. But anyway, so that's for these little easy mods here. We're going to go into cooling. A couple things that no one else on the Q platform I've seen run, right? All right. First things first, oil cooler. Bigger oil cooler. Now my car is a Red Sport. It came with an oil cooler. Oil cooler, it works, you know, it's paper thin, so I'm gonna replace it. I'd say this is probably 2 to 3 times thicker in the capacity, which is great, you know. Our oil not only cools the turbos, cools the engine, cools the transmission. So this is gonna be a good little upgrade to keep the temperatures down. The way I'm gonna mount this is the brackets have to go. So this oil cooler is not meant for this car, right? So these brackets are gonna come off and I'm going to weld them in another position. And the way this is gonna get mounted, it's gonna get mounted and look like a front mounted intercooler. So we'll get that cut and welded. That'll probably be one of the last items to run, but we're gonna run upgraded oil cooler. Above it, heat exchanger. So on the old setup, we ran a frozen boost heat exchanger. My old setup, just to tell you guys if you guys didn't know, was pretty much full bolt-ons. I mean, I had intakes, I had BMS inlets, I had high pressure fuel pump, low pressure fuel pump, Z1 full downpipes, custom 3-inch exhausts, obviously a tune, HKS blow-off valves, and send it. Oh, and frozen boost, right? So we scrapped the frozen boost. Nothing's wrong with it. I just want to go in a different direction. We got this one, which I don't remember the company, but they usually do high-power supercharged builds, right? So I grabbed one of their intercoolers, and it's as thick as the frozen boost, which is good, but the surface area is a little bigger. So we're going to go with that. I know a lot of guys are like, oh, why didn't you just go AMS, or why didn't you go Mishimoto, or why didn't you go BMS or whatever, right? I just didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to spend the money on a Mishimoto or AMS. Yeah, and I just didn't want it. I wanted to do something different, so I did it. Yep. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. You guys will see that. That's another thing that will be last, because once the motor and everything's put back together, With exhaust, we're gonna run the Z1 full downpipes. We have those already. We're gonna run a 3-inch, full 3-inch exhaust. So from the Z1 downpipes are full 3-inch, and then we're gonna run it down to the 3-inch exhaust that we already have on the car. Now this exhaust has no cats, just a bunch of resonators, and it's got, which are kind of dirty, but it's got carbon fiber tips. So that's gonna be our exhaust setup. Oh, gotta cover that. All right, so another cooling octane fueling mod we're gonna go direct port meth. Now I haven't seen a lot of guys run this. Actually, I haven't seen anybody run direct port meth. I've seen a couple guys run meth. I've seen a very overpriced methanol kit, which great kit. I'd make a few tweaks to it if I was designing it. Definitely high quality, but just not for me, right? I can see $3,000 spent elsewhere. So we've got our direct port meth injection ran, ready to go. All we need is our controller, and then we'll have all the pieces for that. Okay, now turbos. I've been kind of hyping everybody up. What are we doing for turbos? Are we doing pure? Are we doing RT? Are we doing maybe pure stage 1 that's coming out? I kept telling people no. So the size of my turbo is going to be a 2871. So there's a company out in Vegas. They're called Twisted Motion. And they will basically take those knockoff turbos, whatever you want to call it, right? And they will disassemble the turbo. And they will, and this like I said, this place is in Vegas. They will disassemble the turbo, and they'll upgrade everything in the turbo up to what you would say a spec of a Garrett or any of those other high-end turbos, right? For a fraction of the cost. And then obviously they'll balance everything, they'll test it, they'll provide you all the documentation. So right now my turbos are right there. They're getting built at Twisted Motion. I talked to those guys, reached out to them, super helpful. I know a lot of guys that have ran their turbos and they love them, right? So we're going that route. We'll see, you know. It's all about seeing different options and stuff like that. I could have went the route and got a Garrett and cut it to shit and whatever, you know. But if I was going to cut up a turbo anyway, if I can get someone to rebuild it with the same parts, actually, they're actually better parts than what's going in my turbo. So I did it anyway. So let me show you our mounting for our turbo, because I do have the exhaust housing I'm working on. Boom. So there it is. We're going with, like I said, it'll be a 2871 with a 64 AR. So my setup is good for over 800 turbo-wise, right? Just like everything else in our community. Fueling. That's our Achilles heel until some injectors come out. Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, I am stuck on fueling and stock block. So I was gonna build the motor. Unfortunately, everyone I spoke to couldn't get me pistons any faster than 6 weeks, and that was 6-week estimate, you know. Even though the COVID stuff is going on, that could be more. I just didn't want to wait. Like, I have 2 projects. One, the BMW that's getting killed because of COVID. Who, for the BMW guys that are still watching, this car is done. The only thing left is a tune. But I don't want to talk about that right now. Anyway. Yeah, COVID's been killing things. So this car, thank God, as opposed to my BMW, I can do everything myself. Well, I mean, I do everything myself on the Beamer, but I'm talking from everything I have left to get the car up and running can be done myself, even the tune-wise, right? The Infinity, I mean, I have Ecutech. It was already tuned. All I have to do is hit up my tuner. He's going to shoot me a file to start, and then we'll data log and we'll fine tune for all that. So I'm trying to get this done August time frame. We'll see. Mid-August, maybe the end of August. We'll see. I'm going to keep chipping away. Obviously, with a build like this, that other than shop car AMS, I don't have AMS money. No one's done. So I'm sure there'll be hurdles on the way, but I'm going to try to document it. I'm going to try to show you what works for me, what I saw, and then we'll see, how much it makes and how well the car does. Any questions, hit me in the comments. You can find me on Instagram also, JetBlackM3. I post on the Infinity page as much as I can. I appreciate all the love. Stay healthy, guys. Till next time.